Welcome to Black Fire Nation, and guess what? It is very likely that you've been programmed. I feel stuck. I hear this a lot. This is so common due to the fact that human beings are very much like animals, although we like to think that we're not. We can be trained and programmed just like an animal can. We are trained to follow certain orders. And this is where the feeling of being in a box or being stuck actually stems from. So we are told to go to school, get a job, get married, have babies, and then die. That's the typical life for most of us, right? This is where we feel like we're in a cage. Well, some of us feel like we're in a cage. And then we wonder why we feel like we're stuck. Well, it's because we've been programmed. We've been programmed to think that we're supposed to live a certain type of life and do certain types of things. Now, there are three primary reasons why I feel like this is happening. Number one, you are a magician and you probably haven't fully realized it yet. You're doing magic on yourself that you don't know you're not aware that you're doing it. Maybe you haven't mastered your magical powers, and that's okay. Most of us haven't. Number two, you might be or you probably are afraid to do things alone because doing things alone doesn't so much fit into the status quo. It seems pretty odd. And then number three is that you have likely bonded yourself into a mental contract, meaning that you have sold yourself a story. Now, I have great news for you. You can turn this all around simply by changing your mind. Now, the concept of changing the mind is very easy, but the execution, not so easy. The only thing that I feel like can actually help ease the execution is knowledge of self. Knowledge of anything helps change your mind. Think about when you're walking in a mall and a salesman comes up to you and he's trying to get you to switch cell phone providers, but you've had the same cell phone for years. You have absolutely no reason to change. And then the salesman says something like, well, did you know that blah, blah, blah company has an unlimited data plan? No, you didn't know that, did you? Well, now maybe your mind can be changed. Knowledge does that, okay? So now we're going to actually talk about the magic ritual that you're doing that's creating this box that you've put yourself in. Repetition is the magic behind manifestation. Making something appear externally that was internal can happen by way of repetition. It is no different than making a muscle form on the human body. If you repeatedly curl your arm in a particular manner, I know you need some resistance there, but just generally speaking, you will eventually create a muscle. You will cause a muscle to form. You will see some definition there. You will see some curves there in the place where you perform that repetition. The muscle will eventually freeze or become stuck like that. It will become hard, okay? So that freezing or that hardness is an indication that you have been focused on one thing and you have done that one thing consistently. Being consistent suggests that you have faith in what you're doing. It also suggests that you are in agreement with what you're doing. Now, if you're not in agreement with your daily routine that you're doing every day, this magical routine, why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep repeating the pattern? Okay, now as above, so below. So that means that if you can do that in your body, then you also do that in your mind. You do magic by building muscles through your habits, your rituals, your customs. You are doing a daily ritual and building a muscle when you wake up at the same time every day. when you take a shower every day, when you brush your teeth every day. Not to say that you shouldn't do these things, but this is all ritualistic. Okay, you get in a car or maybe a bus, you go to work, you do the same job every day, you come home, you cook dinner, you watch TV, you scroll through social media, probably, you fall asleep, and then you get up and you do it all over again. Now, even if you don't have a regular job, you are still very likely doing some type of ritual every day. This is magic. Rituals can be good for you, okay? But the question you must ask yourself about the ritual that you're doing, about your daily routine, is, are you stuck in this routine because you're avoiding risk? You have to ask yourself, am I avoiding risk? Do I take the same particular route to work every day because I'm avoiding the risk of being late? Do I always go to bed at a certain time every night because I'm avoiding the risk of waking up late? Do I always cook the same meals during the month because I don't want to risk screwing up dinner? Okay. Avoiding risk is very common, but we need to have balance, because if you are always avoiding risk, or your whole psyche is about avoiding risk, then you are going to live the most boring life ever. And eventually you're going to find yourself stuck in a routine because you are magically training your brain to avoid risk. We as humans are pretty hardwired to do this, so there's nothing abnormal about avoiding risk. But risk assumes that there is some type of danger. Here's the question. Are you confident that you know what danger is? Having a metaphysical understanding of danger can help you get unstuck. This is where knowledge of self can help you get unstuck. There is really only one true danger. All perceived danger is illusion. Pretty much everything that triggers us or triggers some type of fear within our psyche is based on ideas that we have made up, meaning that we spend a lot of time being in fear about things that haven't happened. Even the concept of death is pretty much a perceived danger, because actually we're immortal beings. So the fear of death is not even real, actually. Now, once you have accepted that you are immortal, and you remove a lot of danger, you remove a lot of risk. Let's take a closer look at the etymology of the word danger, okay? Because it's going to give us some insight on what true danger is. And that's going to give us the knowledge to help change the way we think about risk. The word danger, or the etymology of the word danger, means power, power to harm, mastery, authority, control, and most important, it means jurisdiction. Now, what does this tell us? This tells us that danger only exists when we allow others to have mastery or control or jurisdiction over our subconscious mind. Hidden in the word danger is the letters NGR. NGR is nigger, not as in so-called black people, but as in darkness, which represents the subconscious mind. So imagine that someone planted an idea in your mind so deeply, and it rooted so deeply, that you actually started to believe that there was too much risk for you to take a different route to work. That's pretty deep. Because see, a magician has the power to plant seeds in the mind to the point where you will actually believe that these are your thoughts. But are they? Are you sure that they're your thoughts? Perhaps you have adopted a lot of these thoughts and principles to manifest in the rituals that you do every day, and now you're stuck. So there you are, taking the same 8 roads to get back and forth to work just because you don't want to risk being late for work, because you think that there's some danger in that. You may only believe these ideas because you have yet to learn to perform magic on yourself. That's what's dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. What's dangerous is living a life full of someone else's thoughts and what someone else taught you or told you, okay, that is actually what you should be scared of. So let's talk about how to be your own magician, okay? How to change your mind is what we're really talking about, because old ideas, they're pretty hard to uproot. They're like gigantic trees that you have been watering your entire life, and it has become this big habit and this big custom and this big ritual, and you continuously water this tree every day. Even in the midst of you complaining about it, you still continue to water the tree, and so you make it stronger and stronger and stronger. Now you're using your magic, just not to your own benefit. So what do I suggest? Should you start taking different routes to get to work and showing up late every day? Maybe not. But I am suggesting that you perform intentional rituals on yourself. Okay? Build a new muscle by doing something different. This may hurt a little bit, but it's the beginning of you getting unstuck. So maybe you can kind of take a different route to work. Look into that. Think about doing that. Cook a different kind of food. Try something exotic that you never had before. Instead of spending a lot of time scrolling on social media, maybe do something that you haven't done since you were little, like color in a coloring book. Go jump rope. Let me give you a quick demonstration of how I knew that I was pretty much ready to change my ritual and get unstuck. When I was no longer in fear of what would happen if I stayed up until 2 a.m. in the morning doing what I love to do, which is working on Black Fire Nation, my business, and I decided to risk being late for work. I was supposed to be to work at 8 a.m. and here I am walking in at like 10:30, and it got to the point where I didn't care. Okay, so maybe you might want to go that far, but you should still go. Okay? Go knowing that the only true danger is having someone take over your mind. Everything else is illusion. Now, number 2, being afraid to do things alone. Many times we are stuck in these rituals because we are avoiding doing something alone. It's not that we don't want to change. It's not that we don't want to do something different. It's that we just don't want to do it by ourselves. So yes, we want to travel. We want to go to the beach. We want to go to a concert. We want to go to a comedy show. But we're afraid to do it alone. Some of us are even scared to live alone. And on a much deeper level, a lot of us are scared to be alone, meaning that to not be in a relationship. So the thought of solitude actually scares the crap out of most people, usually because we are concerned about how it looks to other people. We think that people are going to look at us with disgust and say, ooh, look at that lady, or look at that guy alone at a concert, like they're a loser. This is why we stay in unhealthy relationships, because it may appear that we are unwanted and we don't want it to appear like that. So we stay stuck in these patterns of repeating the same things daily because we are afraid to be alone. So let me ask you this. What do you think when you see people out alone at an event? Do you judge them? Do you think that they're some kind of loser? As a matter of fact, do you care? It doesn't actually matter what other people think about anything that you're doing. It only matters what you think. Like, it literally matters what you think. It comes into manifestation. So this is the reason why you must assess why you think how you think and why you judge what you judge. So if you look at a situation and you think that if somebody else being out by themselves is like, ugh, you're really talking about yourself, okay? So if you are stuck in life and you've gotten to the point where you are not actually living your life and you are not actually enjoying your life due to being afraid of what other people may think, you in danger, okay? What's happening is that you are living your life according to what other people may think. That's danger. You know what the craziest part about this is? The thoughts that you're having in your head about what other people may think, you're totally making that up. Because do you really know for certain what other people are thinking? No. So what happens is you write their script into your story. You put them in your story. And you've assigned them parts in some imaginary play that you have in your head. So with that said, when you do that, that actually exposes what you think. Okay? Remember, these are your thoughts and you're making them up. So I want you to take a moment. If you need to pause the video, pause it. Take some time, go self-reflect. Think about why you are afraid to do things alone. What's the true reason for that? Okay? After you have faced yourself and you become completely honest with yourself, come back and finish watching the rest. Because I want to tell you how to change your mentality regarding doing things alone. Okay? I'm going to give you a metaphysical perspective on the science of being alone. Now, you have millions of cells within your body. They communicate with you every day, all day. They feed you thoughts and you feed them thoughts. You communicate with your cells or your ancestors, some people call them, all day. I actually call them your answer stars, your ancestors, okay? Now, they exist within the heaven of your mind and your soul, and they have a lot of the answers that you're looking for. You are one with this infinite intelligence of the cosmos, and if you take the time to cultivate a relationship with your own soul, your own heart, and your own mind, then you will find out that you are not alone. So speak to the universe, and it will speak back to you. Some people call this prayer. I'll give you an example. One of the messages that I was given in a dream before I started teaching self-realization of a goddess last year was I was told in a dream that everything you're about to do, you must do it alone. Now, I rolled this message around in my head a lot until finally one day I actually had an aha moment, and I figured out that I was being told that I had to totally rely on the source within. So it would look like to other people that I was doing it alone, but not really. Okay? I had to rely on the creative energy that comes from the cosmos within, and that is where my true help is coming from. So therefore, it might appear like I'm doing it by myself, but I'm really not. I knew that I was basically being told not to rely on anything external. So what does it really mean to do something alone? It really means to do it with the power of universal law, or what we call God. Because with God, or universal law, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. All right? Now, with that said, remember that you're never alone, and that you have an entire army of ancestors within you that are ready and able and willing to help you get unstuck. You are full of creative energy, and this is your help. Now, number 3. You may be stuck because you've bonded yourself into a mental contract. Okay, this is a subject that I actually teach during the self-realization course. Specifically in my Magic of Words class, I teach about how words cast spells. So yes, it is commonly known and accepted that words have the power of spell casting. But do we ever consider that we are actually casting spells upon ourselves? Remember, you are a magician. I said that at the beginning, and I'm saying it again. The thing is that you and majority of us have not perfected our craft. So you are casting spells upon yourself without realizing. That is why self-realization is very crucial. When you tell yourself the same stories over and over again, you are making a bondage to that story, and you're making it become stronger and stronger. So a contract, you're forming a contract within your own mind with the cosmos. You are making that story stick, which means you are making yourself stuck. Okay, you have convinced yourself or your cells that there is no other way to do this, whatever this is. Remember that the cells within your body are full of creative thoughts. But if you have created a contract within your mind that says that you cannot do this, this, or this, then your cells are going to honor that. They're going to honor the contract that you've created in your mind. Okay? You're in charge, and they obey you. So when you do that, you have actually blocked your own creative energy from flowing with the contract or the spell that you have cast upon yourself. Now, the subconscious is very powerful and all-knowing. It is its job to constantly call forth or lord reflections to you so that you can see and correct yourself when you are out of alignment with your truth, with your true thoughts. Now, if you keep telling yourself that you are stuck, and you keep repeating all the things that you cannot do, you keep telling yourself that you can't do this and you can't do that, then the universe will repeatedly show you that it will show you the story that you're telling yourself, well, that you can't do this and you can't do that. So everything that you say to yourself is recorded and bound to a contract or a book. The book is the story of you. So think about this. When someone gets arrested, it is said that they got booked, right? You get booked because the sentences that you are writing in your mind, it's like your mind is an invisible typewriter, okay? Consider that the etymology of the word type actually means to impress. So as you speak to yourself, and you have this invisible typewriter going off in your head, you impress these images into the subconscious mind. If you consistently do this over and over, they will eventually get stuck, which results in you being stuck. So once again, the answer is changing your mind. That's always going to be the answer. Change your narrative, change your story. Narrative is to narrate to Eve. Eve is the subconscious. Eve is a parable for the subconscious, okay? And the word narrate has the sound of the word inner right on the front of it. So it lets you know that the true narration is what you're saying inside of your head and inside of your heart. Here's how you can change your story. Okay, here's a to-do for you. You can sit down and you can write a new story. Yes, I mean literally sit down and write a script for your life. Your new script should be amazing. You should have amazing ideas in there. And you should also include things that you can do now and things that you can do in the future. But you can start off with just writing about one day. What does one day look like for you that's not on your daily routine? Something amazing that you plan to do. Remember, many of these things that you should be doing, you also should be doing them alone so that you can practice not being afraid to do them alone. So when you do this, you're going to be doing three things. You're going to think, you're going to feel, and you're going to do. These three things are in alignment with your spirit, your soul, and your body. You're going to think, you're going to write, and you're going to do. Okay. Now, when you have accepted that the only danger that actually exists is that someone might have jurisdiction over your mind, that's when you're really winning, okay? Because you'll take more risks. And when you have accepted that it's okay to do these things alone, that can help you be unstuck because the universe is always within you. So I want you to start writing your own script, writing your own story about things that you want to do different within your life and actually start doing them. Write a new script that will motivate you and get you unstuck. Now, sidebar, I actually offer this as a service through my self-realization classes, but I do offer on the side as well. I help people, specifically mostly women, help them stay in alignment with their true self by helping them create a contract with themselves. So if this is something that you like to be or you're interested in, click the link below or above. And that's pretty much all. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you like my videos, and comment and let me know if you want to see more of this. Thank you.